Happy Friday, everyone. Tom Grisafi back at the wheel. ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trade. Feels good to be here. It was nice to have a little break. We got a nice little show built for you. I bet you things aren't going as well as you thought if you're a bull in the beans. Corn finally starting to trade back to fundamentals. Actually, the fundamentals of grains are quite bearish, but we've had phenomenal exports, and Connor B has a chart that will bring that up. There's some other things going on in the markets, lots of jockeying for positions. There's something very important we need to talk about next week on premium content, and it's how to use these short-dated options to get you through these election windows, whether it be short-dated options in the stock market or how people are doing it. And the traditional options change. Matter of fact, rumor is, not a fact, that possibly, just possibly, the CME may introduce day one grain options. What's that mean? It means the casino's open for upside or downside 24 hours a day. We have our traditional options like a November option, which expires today. We have December options. We have different months, different strikes. Then we have weeklies. They're talking about a daily. This is something very common on the financial side. Why am I talking about this now? Because it's going to be so important to volatility during the election. All right, let's take the LaSalle Street super quick, then Wall Street, and then we'll get CB in. Connor has something really special he wants to show you. He's been working on a project on his face, and it's coming along quite well. He's got a little JD Vance going. All right. Corn down 4, decent corn down 4, 417. Soybeans, no beans down 5, 990. Well off that 1010 of yesterday. Meal down 34. Soybean oil up 27. Wheat, border trade wheat down 12. KC 10. Hard red spring down 4. Soybeans, we already talked about soybeans. Let's look at cattle. A little bit lower in the live cattle. Feeder cattle rolling over a little bit also. Hogs up 12. Take it to that great street, Wall Street. Dow Jones up 100. And 60, 160, add up the 160. That's what Dow is. S&P up 46. Ring the bell. NASDAQ up 300. NASDAQ up 300. The little tech engine that just keeps moving. 2s, 5s, 10s, 30s, all up. That means yields are lower. Gold down 5. Silver up a little. Copper up a little. Crude oil up $1. Natural gas had a monster day yesterday. Down 29. Bitcoin unchanged. CB, show them what you've been doing.
I've been on the show every day, Tommy.
No
one mentioned it.
And the first, told me, don't watch, don't come on. If we're going to do the show, we don't need you. So I really haven't watched it. What'd you guys say? I noticed you had very high views yesterday. Congratulations. You guys must have really
well, good deal. Well, since you weren't watching, basically the show was we said how much we love Tommy Grisafi. We miss him. I can't wait to hear from him. That was right, a bunch of questions about how's Tommy doing. So hey, I got
when someone, you know what I say when someone says they don't like me? I say it's okay. I like me enough for the both of us.
Hey, I gotta ask, you're talking about these daily corn calls. I can't wait to buy the daily corn calls in my Robinhood app. Right, when's that gonna come here?
Oh, the Robinhood free trading in futures and options. Not quite free, but very discounted. It's always been relatively inexpensive to trade futures and options. You just go to the board of trade, you buy a seat, lease a seat, go find an FCM, and away you go. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the advice, the timing, the babysitting that goes into managing these positions. But I do have some clients who are self-directed, and they click the mouse themselves. And I don't think we're going more this way, Connor. I would think if people want to do that, we should show them how to do that. Don't you think?
Sure. Yeah. If you're ready to do it, now I'd say in our industry, right? Like if you're outside, if you want to, you have the Robinhood app, you're trading equities, right? You're buying GameStop. I'd be very careful about then jumping into commodities, right? I saw our guy, I think it was our guy Grainstats on Twitter. If you're not following him, make sure you are. He put something when we saw this soybean rally. I think we saw $10, or maybe it was even lower than that, right? If you bought the S&P 500 in 96, you'd be up whatever 1,000% today, right? If you bought soybeans, right, front month future soybeans in 96, in 2024, you would have broke even.
Mm-hmm. I do want to tell you something I know about that Robinhood, because I was a little concerned. Sure. I'm not concerned at all now. When someone like me trades, I have X amount of money in my account. I have the membership, which is held by the FCM, and I have a extremely low rate. And if I was to have a bad day, okay, so say I just bought 20 beans and they went against me, My software is not going to blow me out. So I could have money in my account go unchanged, go negative. They're not going to blow me out. What's going to happen with Robinhood, and this is so important, we brought this up. I want to be perfectly clear, is that there's not people and personalities behind the risk management. There's just computers. And so, say a bid ask gets wide on an option at night, it's going to auto liquidate you all the time. So, what's going to happen is someone's going to say, I got Robinhood, I trade inexpensively. And then they're going to go like this: holy shit, my Robinhood app blew me out of 20 calls and gave me a 10-cent worth
Yeah.
bill because it's going to auto liquidate in the middle of the night. So if you take like what happened in the Ukraine war, right? There was a lot of calls to FCMs and personalities and, hey, crude oil's doing this, corn's doing this. Does that guy good for the money? Yeah, he's good. I know that. So it goes that, is the customer good for the money? Then it's on the broker. Then it's on the firm like us. Then it's ultimately on the FCM. If you can find out who Mr. Robinhood is, who's not going to blow you out, the second that your account isn't just perfect with them, let me know. And so sometimes, Connor, free is too expensive.
Well said. Well said. So, yeah, that's what we talked about all week, Tommy. You know what we talked about and what we're going to talk about again today? Exports, right? We continue to see good flash sales.
Bring them in.
116,000 soybeans to China, 136,000 corn to Mexico. I saw something, don't quote me on this. It was like over 50 million in daily sales that we've seen this week, right? Couple that with what the export numbers were year on year on this corn market. These exports are on fire. And so the story has been, right, we're seeing corn to Mexico, we're seeing beans to China, and then we've got the third country. Maybe you visited there. Unknown destinations have been a huge buyer. And so Reuters had a great chart, is when can we go back in history and look where we see these great unknown buyers? Because the thought is, Tommy, this unknown, is it China stepping up, right? Are they quietly buying U.S. corn? I don't know the answer to that, but just looking at that little white line, right? Unknown destinations. Last time we saw this, I like that 2021 correlation there, right? And we know that's unknown destinations, but it was a big part of China really buying U.S. corn, U.S. soybeans. So time will tell, right? Long way to go. Rick updates us on the election. It's what? Is it 10
How many
days?
days we got, Papa?
11. I'm always
11.
the day off.
What you guys don't realize is we see Rick underneath. And whenever we can't remember how many days the election, this piece of paper goes up. Yeah, it'll be like, hey, you have a good question. Or it'll say under the questions, don't answer that one, which is by far a classic. We get a couple of those. Boy, it's good to be on here.
Yeah. So exports have been the story, Tommy.
All right. Real quick. Suzanne from Twitter and LinkedIn. You got to follow Suzanne Stroud, No Bull. She put up a picture, and sometimes, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So let's pop that up, Jojo. You guys are important. We love you. You're American farmers, but it's all the way at top, Joe. There you go. Explain this, Connor B.
Let me look at it. Oh, this is fascinating. So looking at Brazil, we're looking at the Mato Grosso region, right? We talk about that all the time. Look at this. So this is a great graphic. I'm glad you pulled this in. Nebraska,
we gotta
Iowa,
give her credit.
Indiana.
You got to click like and subscribe to her. No Bull. Absolutely. She's amazing.
Indiana, Illinois, all basically fit in this region. So when we talk about the Corn Belt in the United States, correlate that to Brazil. That's Mato Grosso, right? That's all of our big producer, big producing areas, right?
Connor, move your head in. All right, real quick for Halloween. Move it out. There you go. Hey,
look at
we'll
that.
be here all week. Kind of fun what you could do with this motion picture stuff.
I
think I'm
glad
on
to have you
something.
back, Tommy.
I think I'm on. I don't think I took my medicine this morning.
But that chart, it just speaks volumes, and we got to remember, I've seen grumblings about, okay, this corn, the low moisture on this last, 30% of corn and beans, right? Is that going to hit the yield? Are we going to see a yield reduction? And my answer to that, maybe, right? We'll see where we go. We've got some big yield numbers on corn and soybeans, but we got to keep in mind the story. If we're looking at the supply, it's going to be this. Right now, if trend line yields hold in South America, a record soybean crop, right? That's where the story is, and we always got to keep that in mind and be cognizant of that when we start marketing this crop. It's a big part of it.
Mhm. I guess what Connor's trying to say, or the way I would interpret it, for all you uh, people who insist that the USDA is lying, which I've actually seen them be a little late to put out some true information before, like a year or two late, right? Hey, there's 300 million missing bushels. Well, they do some interesting math. Okay. So for the USDA is lying conspiracy theorist, trying to say that the soybean yield is 1 bushel lower in America, it is not, I don't want to say you're crazy. You're focusing on the wrong part. And the reason you're
Yes.
focusing on the wrong part is because as much as you're important and we love you, uh, that's a big deal. Again, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, in that one little area. South America is a big area, and they're really good at production agriculture and constantly trying to get better. When you go to the Farm Progress Show or any of these big shows, more the Farm Progress Show, you'll notice a lot of foreign speaking people. I met farmers from Quebec who spoke French. They were uh, from an area where we have some family up there. Fascinating. And you realize it's good to go to that to be like, what language are they speaking? As Americans, we're arrogant. We think we're the only game in town, but you could see through the price action and other things that they're coming after us.
Right. One good thing, if we do want to be pro America, we more than took over being the number one corn exporter, right? That was the story last year. Brazil surpassed us, China not buying any corn. Well, we're back number one there. So we'll take what we can get, I guess.
Yeah, speaking of pro America, I have 2 flags I have to send out. There was someone from one of the grain elevators, advanced trading commercial grain elevator asked to send a flag. Of course, we'll send you a flag. And there's a client from a few weeks ago. If you're out there, we want to give away 2 American flags. Info at ATI Pro Media. Get a hold of us if you're a good patriot. We want to send you a flag. We're going to be sending out a lot of flags coming in this election, and we'll be doing some live streaming. I think I'm going to live stream the night of the election and just see how many people I can get on. I'm going to have a
I
lot
like it.
more screens up here. I'm going to put 2 or 3 of the news channels on. I'm going to put 2 or 3 of the betting services on. And I hope you and others could join. I'm going to need some help because I just can't watch those weather guys stream and have I mean, they killed it. 250,000 people watching the max velocity stream during the hurricane. And
Amazing.
I think this election could bring hurricane type results to the markets. And the reason is, I go back to what I said in the monologue, daily options, weekly options. If this doesn't go how the markets think, we will have volatility like you've never seen. That is a possibility, not a 100% chance, not a money back guarantee chance, but I believe we're set up for volatility. Let me
Yeah.
give you an example. I thought about this last night.
Hit me.
When in 2016, when it was guaranteed that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and the results came in for President Trump in Florida, S&Ps were up 20, then unchanged, then they went limit down. Okay, so the night President Trump won, Hillary Clinton conceded. The Dow Jones went down 1,000. We were trading like 18,000 that night and went to 17, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're at 42,000.
Yeah.
So that would be like a down 2,500 in the Dow if it didn't go well. I'm going to put it out there. If this doesn't go how people are thinking, you could see a multi-thousand point move or possibly limit moves in the markets. That is very possible. So
Yeah.
what you all need to do there is say, if I'm a cattle producer and I can't get out the next day because we open limit one way or the other, what should I have on to protect that? Because everyone always thinks like, oh, I'm going to sell it. What about if we open limit down and go there for 2 more days? That's the insurance you need. That's why you need to call Brady Huck over at Advanced Trading, get that
Yeah.
LRP insurance or wrap it up with an option. I'm kind of worried
And
about the cattle people. Yes, sir.
well, I was going to say, 2016, great example. 2024, get in our little world of grains, right? When we start talking tariffs, anything like that, right? It could affect commodity markets more than we probably saw in 2016, 2020, right? Good up or down, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey, I don't
100%
know if
with you.
JoJo popped it up. Palladium on the high of the year. I don't know. Does that make you excited, folks? Ring the bell. Palladium high of
Palladium.
the year. Yeah,
Okay.
but we're seeing some things that are, this all stems from earlier in the week when I was getting ready and you guys were getting ready to go on your show. And Paul Tudor Jones said he's bullish Bitcoin, he's bullish gold, and he's long commodities. Guy's worth, last time I checked, 12 or 13 billion. And that's more than you and I and Brady and some of the Genius Committee we work with combined together. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the wealthiest, best traders in the world, said he's bullish gold, bullish Bitcoin, bullish commodities. No matter what, we're going to have continued inflation. And I think that will be the thorn in the American farmer side. Continued inflation, high inputs, higher or moderate interest rates will be the devil to the American farm economy.
Yep. Well said. Well, hey, last headline we got, and then I think we should look at. You want to look at a little bit. Nova options expired. Just look at. I think you got a chart loaded up there. But
Yeah.
last thing I got, cattle on feed. Right, we talked about that. I think Brady Huck will give us that breakdown. We'll see that this afternoon. He's did a good job of just showing us, where they're at. So let's do it.
Bring
Nova
'em in the
options.
show.
Nova
Yeah.
options expire today.
Yeah, Nova $10 puts. Welcome to the show. You popping in there, JoJo? No? I'll add it to the stage.
There it is.
Okay. This is a
Well-
Nova $10 put. I could, if you're out there and you're on YouTube and you want us to look at something, if you're quick, I can put up anything. This was interesting. Look at how much these went up during. This is when we made those lows, and as wild as they went up, if you didn't do something with that money, poof. You know, when people say, "Oh, I had this option, it was worth a bunch," and then it wasn't.
Yep.
Well, what did you do in the life of your option, Connor B?
Yep, exactly. So what's that top out at? 58 cents. Wow.
Yeah, I'm. Let me look out on the week, but yeah, it's it happened quickly. That was that move, right? Okay, real quick, I want to talk about, and I'll let you. I promise I won't interrupt. Why is it awesome? This is my opinion, Connor's opinion. I can only speak for us because no one else is here. But if you bought a $12 call, what should the other side of that look like?
Yeah, this is what I was about to ask. Is say I want to pull up a call because, right, when we look at if we just had the call.
I thought I couldn't find it. It was so low, it's worthless. Go ahead. Apologize.
Yeah. So it just, hey, when you just look at this chart, was buying $12 calls. If we just had nothing on but $12 calls, right, they're expiring worthless today. But the truth is if we're hedgers of this market, we made sales that April, May, June, July timeframe. So that's the power of using calls, of hedging, is that sure, the call expire worthless, but we were able to pull the trigger on
Let's
sales.
go through the math so we're not completely full of it. I'm going to pick almost a random day, but markets tend to make highs around my birthday. Okay, so we'll go, oh, there's my birthday, June 24th. Happy birthday to me. If you didn't get something, don't worry, we'll have one next, which is a great day, a fabulous day, a wonderful day.
My anniversary too.
How many years you been married? Too many?
8.
You're not there yet. 8 wonderful years.
Yes.
Yeah. June 24th.
7.
If you sold futures, okay, you sold an HTA at the elevator on June 24th, and you bought a $12 call for some reason. I'm curious where no futures were on June 24th. And the survey is no futures were. We're going. June. 11:45. Okay, so what'd you get, Connor? Do the math.
11:45. What was the call worth?
I'll go back. I felt like 20 some cents. It's okay.
Okay, we'll say 30. 30.
20.
Go 30 cents. That's 11.15 net.
Is 11.15 better than we could do now?
Yes, it is.
You're so smart. Good looking and smart. Not a combination we see at an ag broker. But you, my friend, have it all. So when we say you should be happy your $12 calls expired worthless, well, you better have some good sales on there. Now, if you had no sales, you got bullish and bought $12 calls, you got two problems. You got a nice little hedge loss in your hedge account, and you got no sales. If that's the case, you should close your futures account and do something else, because that is doing it wrong, my friend.
You know what they call that? That's called double long and wrong, Tommy.
That's called call it what you want. Hey, I don't like the way the markets are going today, but it is Friday. We're at the tail end of harvest here. We have some more harvest to go in corn. The reason corn harvest is taking so long, and for some reasons, is the bushels are so big, even though we've had uninterrupted harvest. Speaking of uninterrupted, it rained like heck last night. I got thunder and lightning woke me up last night. Real nice rain here in northern Indiana. I think it was localized. We probably have some South American weather that's brewing up. and we'll have to keep an eye on that coming into Sunday. Any other news, comments, questions? If you're out there, you'd like a flag, hit us up, info@ATI Pro Media, 1-855-737-FARM. I'm going to leave the show and record some premium. Go ahead, do Luke's, and then we'll talk about premium.
Had an order of 490 hit yesterday, picked up from the farm. That's what I like to see. Somebody wants some corn here, or is it starting to understand how bad the corn crop on the East Coast was this year? I think more than anything, Luke, it's a testament to how bad your area was, right? Luke's in North Carolina, had significantly bad, they got hit with almost no rain, and then they got flooding, then they got a hurricane, right? And so when we start talking about the poultry production, the amount of grain that goes into that area that's supplied, right, you're going to see some really good basis numbers, which I think is what you're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more questions, comments? I want you all to take some time over the weekend and say if the markets really moved during the election, what would mess you up? If you're a grain farmer with grain in storage, it's probably that the markets go down. There is a group of you, though, who did a wonderful job the last 48 hours selling soybeans. If you're out there, if you're a Tom Grisafi advanced trading client and you really aggressively sold or priced soybeans, because Connor, what's going to happen next week? November options expire today. Now they're going to start calling for these November futures. Explain from the elevator side what you guys used to do as we have to get people priced into know. For folks who dropped off that bean at the elevator and said, just let me keep it here for a little bit. That little bit is coming up, correct?
Right. If you decided, let's say if you threw it on a basis contract, or right in a carry market, if we have some November HTAs on, your elevator is going to be calling you to roll those out to Jan. Now the HTA, if we got grain in the bin, right, we've got that carry, right? Jan futures is worth more than what November is. We get to add, right? We get to capture that carry. Now, the ugly side of that when we're in these carry markets is rolling the basis contracts, right? That's a very common, I've seen it time and time again. Let's not pay storage at the elevator. We want the price to go higher. Let's put it on a basis contract. Well, if you have that, what's the spread at, Tom? I don't have my Novjan spread.
Yep, please stand by. Keep talking, though, because this is going to happen. Next week, we'll do this on a premium because so many people are going to be have to make this decision. Nova is 988, but let's call it 990 for simple math versus a 999. So not that much, about a 10, 12 cent carry.
Yeah, not a whole lot
here.
But let's say you got that 30 under basis contract, right? You deliver all your grain. They're going to call you. You've got to price that grain or you've got to roll it. So when you roll into a carry market, that 30 under basis versus November becomes a 42 under the Jan. And so you don't get to capture that carry. And that's why rolling basis contracts during carry markets, it's just not that fun, Tommy. And I don't think it's worth doing, right? Much better. There's other ways to stay long this market than just trying to stay outright bullish and rolling basis contracts.
Yep, finish it up. I'll hit the close. We're going to record a couple ATI Pro Media premium editions today. We'll get those out. I can't promise, but Brady Huck will probably have a cattle on a cattle one that's coming out here. I'm going to grab Don Wick and a few other things I want to talk about with premium subscribers. So for $30 a month. Yes, sir.
No, go ahead.
I haven't done this in so long. I'm back to talking over you.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Tune into that. Cattle on feed. Brady will be going live if you want, right? Illinois, Oregon, Tommy, #1 team in the nation. Illinois is playing, and we'll see if this run gets cut short, but I'll be definitely watching.
Stay on the football team. Bella's going down to the Indiana game. Have they not lost yet?
Oh my gosh. The unbelievable run, right? You could make the argument that they hadn't played a whole lot of teams, and then they just destroyed Nebraska. I mean, like, absolutely put it to them. It's something like it's the best run for Indiana football since like the 1950s, Tommy. Unbelievable. Joe's probably going to switch from being a Purdue fan to being an Indiana fan if I know him.
He's shaking his head. He's going like this. Wrap it up, you toolboxes. All right, everyone. I love doing this. I love coming into your living room or wherever we are. Maybe you're in the bathroom, whatever. We're there watching us live. Connor B, Assumption, Illinois, Tom Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana, ATI Pro Media going live every day at 9. We'd love for you to sign up for premium. I think for sure you'll get your money's worth during the election because we're going to be pumping out a ton of premium content. We'll see you all Monday.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.